Let's talk about some football. How have you seen the last week or so? I know you were pretty fed up at MK Dons. I guess in the week there were quite a lot of positives, all that crazy deadline day stuff going on at the same time as a game. The dust has settled on this week. How do you see it?
Just really looking forward to getting to training, with a couple of the new lads coming in as well. To try and iron out what went wrong on Saturday, which there wasn't a great deal that went wrong on Saturday. And just try and focus on a massive game on Saturday. And we know that we've got a decent squad. Now we've got a lot of young lads coming through who can definitely step up in ones and twos. And we've got a strong first team squad. And we've got to try and build on that. And we've got to try and get as many points on the board as quickly as possible. But it's the same remit all the while. You spoke to me thousands of times on this, and you're just trying to win games and doing whatever you've got to do to win games. And I'd like us to play a bit more aesthetically pleasing style of football. Sometimes not always the case. Sometimes you're not allowed to do that. But it doesn't mean you should be for the wanted sign. And I think we've got into a little bit of a routine now where we tend to go long a little bit too quickly, and we're going to have to try and iron that out, because we have got players who are capable of passing through the lines, capable of making chances. And you see how much of a threat Coley was when the ball comes in the box on Tuesday, so we're going to have to focus more on that, get more balls into the box as well.
This stronger squad situation, is it almost twofold? Because you've brought in players, obviously you've signed Javon Malcolm and signed Ethan Hamilton on deadline day, but you've also got a number of players, Keneally, O'Sullivan, Pritchard, who in a couple of weeks' time will be kind of coming back into the fold.
Yeah, and if we can keep them all fit, and the ones who are fit now, if we can keep them together, we've got a good chance. We have got a strong squad. Teams don't like playing us, I know that. You speak to other managers, they don't like playing us because they know we've got a great work ethic and we play good football, and we do compete. We go to the 90th minute or the 96th minute, or if we're winning, probably the 103rd minute. But whatever you relax on your laurels and say, oh yeah, I've got a good enough squad, you'll go backwards. So we're always trying to improve, and we'll be looking to incrementally get better in January.
I know you're really enthusiastic about the under-23s and bringing players through. Would it be a good sign if you had 7 senior substitutes? Yeah,
without a doubt. But that doesn't mean you want to stunt the lads who are chomping at the bit to get into that. And if you're good enough, you're old enough. And no one will be denied a passage just because they're not a senior player. If they're good enough, they get into the team.
What does it mean to those young lads? I saw Dylan Moonen tweeted it was amazing to make his debut in the game as a substitute the other night. I discussed this with Brett Ormerod in the commentary, because from the outside looking in, that competition, the trophy, doesn't feel that important at this stage.
No, but
if you're 17, 18...
That's something you'll never forget. And I can remember me making my senior debut for Shrewsbury Town, and the thrill of that felt for me. So, these lads have got to try and grab the opportunity when it comes, and there won't be. I'm not saying there won't be many opportunities, but when they do come across, they've got to try and grab them with both hands. And there's a lot of lads who didn't get a share the other night who will get a chance in the next round or the next leg of the competition. And they did quite well on Tuesday, and hopefully the ones who come in will do quite well.
There's a lot of games off this weekend due to the internationals. Is that an opportunity for you to steal a bit of ground on a few teams, or is it a frustration that you have to play?
It's a frustration that we have to play. To be honest, I don't think it's fair that teams in our league should not be playing. If you look at the more affluent teams, and I'm not having a go at Cookie here with Ipswich because I speak to him like 4 or 5 times a week, but he's had a chance now to work for 2 weeks with his new players, and that's an opportunity that we won't get, and yet we'll lose 2 players to international duty, 2 starters for us. So I think that's very, very unfair, and it should either be a blanket off everyone or let everyone else get on with it. That is frustration, but we have to get on with it. We don't make the rules, we have to adhere to them.
Would some of those teams that have got 4, 5, 6 players away with internationals say that they would be penalised for being successful and having players of that stature though?
Yeah, so that's why they should call them all off.
Okay, fair enough. Shrewsbury this weekend, what have you made of their start? I think it's just a 1 win so far.
It is, but if you look at the games they've played, they've been quite unfortunate. In some of the games, you know, I've watched, I know John's watched a lot of them, John Doolan, and Jimmy has, and I've watched a bit of them as well, and, you know, they have been unlucky in some games. You know, they'll be thinking that they've got the win and they'll be trying to kick on from that. And, you know, it's something that we're mindful of, that they always pose a threat. And, you know, Steve Cottrell did unbelievably well when he came in last year. And I'm sure he's capable of getting them going again.
I don't think there's been a club in the league more disrupted by COVID than them with what happened to Steve Cottrell, has there? It's great to have him back and see him back, I suppose.
Well, there's no manager who's been affected as bad as him, I don't think, but certainly as a club we had 19 in 1 week, so I think no one can top us. But yeah, he's done remarkably well to battle through it. And I know how enthusiastic he is about football anyway, so I'm sure he'll have them right up for it on Saturday.
How difficult do you think that is for Steve Cottrell as an individual? You live and breathe football, it's been your life. If you had to, for health reasons, stay away from the club and not be hands-on involved for that length of time, would that drive you crazy?
I think it would. I think it has drove him crazy at times. But, you know, your health is the most important thing that you've got, and you've got to protect that with everything you've got.
Home form has been pretty encouraging so far. You've only played a couple of games in the league. You had the other night in the EFL Trophy. Are you noticing a difference with having the fans back, with being able to kind of build that pressure on teams?
I think the fans make a massive difference, and, you know, I know our players and myself and the rest of the staff really appreciate it. And if we're going to be successful in this league, we've got to have good home form, and we've got to win as many games as we can.
It was a strange anomaly, I guess, under behind closed doors conditions, that across football it was more even, home and away. Are we going to see that rebalance this season, do you think?
I hope so. I hope so for our sake, because there's nothing better than winning at home and going over to the fans after the game, and the feeling of elation and relief. It's a great feeling, and it's great when you can share it with other people.